Hey guys, this is Jen, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about budgeting as a team sport. For those of you out there in a relationship, whether you're married or have a serious partner, I want to talk to you about how do you have those conversations around money, because there's a lot of people who just simply don't. Either one person tends to take the lead and the other one is a lot more passive, or nobody takes the lead and nobody really talks about what's going on. So if you budget together, if you talk about really more than budgeting, if you talk about personal finance together, I promise you it's going to accelerate your progress. It's going to bring you closer together, believe it or not, and it's really going to teach you how to have those tough conversations that most of us are scared of, and it will teach you how to have them with dignity and respect, because everybody has their own personal history around money and their own understanding of how it should be handled. And when you can turn towards each other and begin to have even just a couple minutes of conversations on a weekly basis about what personal finance means for your family, you will create immense amounts of dignity and respect when maybe those weren't there before. And a lot of people think that having conversations about personal finance is really dependent on how much money you make. And it absolutely has nothing to do with how much money you make. And it has everything to do with how willing you are to turn towards personal finance and say to each other, I want to learn more about this. I want to figure out where we're going in life. I want to understand how we're using the dollars that we do have to the very best of our ability. Doesn't matter how many of those dollars you have. It matters if you lean into it and you're willing to talk about it. Also, it's not so much about how much money you make. It's really about how you feel about yourself. So people who aren't doing so great, maybe you're feeling depressed or anxious, or you've got some other things going on, they tend to shy away from having these conversations, because let's face it, they are tough conversations if you're not practiced at it yet, which you will be, but it takes time. But here's the good news. If that's you, if you're sitting there right now going like, Jen, yeah, you know what? I have really been depressed. I was depressed before COVID hit and now it's even worse, or my anxiety is through the roof because of this crazy pandemic. Don't use that as a reason to turn away from talking about money. Just because that's why some people tend not to, doesn't mean that that's why you should turn away from it. Because here's the deal. When you learn to turn towards hard things and lean into them and try and be consistent in your trying, day after day, week after week, you just try a little step at a time, you instantly feel better. And the reason you feel better is because you're starting to build your confidence and your competence. And anytime you do that, anytime you avoid procrastinating, you're going to feel better about yourself. It's just repetition. It's like lifting weights, rep after rep after rep. You will build those muscles and you will get better at doing this. So here's a couple of tips on how to talk about money, because how we talk about money matters more than the conversation itself. Because if you're having a crappy conversation about it and you're yelling at each other, it's not going to do anybody any good. So here's some ideas on how to talk. First, extend yourself and your partner a lot of grace. Maybe this is something you've never done before. So extend them grace. There's always room for grace. Okay, that's the most important thing. Number two is be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your partner, and with each other. Listen with genuine curiosity and interest. Everybody has a story to tell, even if it's via numbers. There's a story within your numbers. There's a story within your partner's approach to finance. See if you can start to bring that to the surface. It will give you great insight into that other person and even into yourself. The third one is dream big. Personal finance is not about paying your bills and filing your taxes on time. It just isn't. It's about more than that. It's about your values. It's about how you want to express those values in life and what you're willing to do to express those values. Number four, take small steps. Don't try to do this all at once. Maybe you start with a commitment to each other that you will talk about your finances for 10 minutes a week. Totally doable. You can do that. Start there and then move forward. Number 5, never give up. You're going to slip, you're going to fall. You might even yell at each other every once in a while. If that happens, go back to step 1. Give each other some grace. This is a process. Again, you don't go to the gym one time, do a couple reps and get really strong. You have to consistently go. It's just time after time. It's experience. It's repetition. So if you practice those 5 things, extend grace, be patient, dream big, start small, and never ever give up. I promise you that your personal financial well-being will accelerate and will go exactly where you want it to go. So I hope everybody's doing okay and having a great week, and I look forward to talking to you again. Bye.